The City of Neenah is pleased to provide video recordings of City Council meetings. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents from the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or completing the electronic feedback form on the city website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the City of Neenah Common Council meeting for Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. The first item on the agenda is the roll call. Please indicate your presence on your roll call device, and the clerk will call the roll.
Council President Borchard.
Here.
Alderman Bruno.
Yeah.
Alderman Erickson is on her way. Alderman Linsky.
Here.
Alderman Ellis.
Here.
Alderman Steiner.
Here.
Alderman Paulnow.
Here.
Alderman Lundrum.
Here.
And Alderman Weber is excused. I just want it noted that Director Rasmussen is appearing by phone, and she is connected.
Alderman Bruno, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? There are no mayor's appointments, so moving on to item 3, is there any objection to unanimous consent of approval of the council minutes and proceedings of October 1st, 2025 regular session? Is there any objection to unanimous consent? Seeing none, those minutes and proceedings are approved. There is a public hearing. I will open that public hearing to hear comments for the water supply service area plan developed by the Neenah Water Utility. Is there anyone here who would like to speak regarding the water supply service area plan? Anyone here who would like to speak on that plan? Anyone who would like to speak on that? Seeing no one, I will close that public hearing. And thank you, Neenah Water Utility Director Mock, for being here to answer any questions if anybody had any. The next item on the agenda is the public forum. This is the opportunity for anyone from the public to speak before council. If you would like to say anything before council, please come forward, give your name and residential address. Is there anyone who would like to speak during the public forum?
Scott Becker, 1061 Green Acres Lane. I wanted to talk about, and we've seen this several times now in the city, and specifically the Plummer Court and Baldwin Street sidewalks. We've seen problems with elevator repairs, and also the Harrison Retention Pond, and before this years ago with Commercial Street previously. And it's one of the things in the legislature that we worked on, and it allowed, and that is shoddy workmanship by contractors that you hire. And in the legislature, we worked on a law, it's Wisconsin Act 2001 and 2005, called the Right to Cure, which basically allows a homeowner the right to cure a building project basically before going into lawsuits. So it's a notice of claim, it involves a contractor, it's much more an easier way than to avoid lawsuits. And my thought was, should the city look at something like that? Because it seems like we're having a lot of projects that have to be redone. And that takes staff time, it takes Director Kaiser's time, it takes the council's time, it takes homeowners who will send me photos and say, what is going on with our city? So I would encourage the city council to look at a right to cure way to basically allow us to improve on the kind of shoddy contracts and avoid those in the future. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak during the public forum?
Good evening, Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of the council. My name is Dwight Kerr. I live at 434 High Street. I recently heard that the Winnebago County is considering an ATV regulation for letting ATVs travel on the road. I have a concern in general with that. I live on the Trestle Trail, Friendship Trail, the Lake Trail, and it's routinely that we have unregistered, with vehicles with no lights on. And for an example, skateboards, powered scooters. I was coming home the other night at 9:30, and I turned north on Commercial from Main Street, and I saw two little lights, and I thought, oh, I got a car coming at me all the way down by St. Pat's. Well, lo and behold, when I made my left turn by the YMCA, it was somebody on a hoverboard in the street. I don't know how many of you are out that late at night, but I routinely come home about 9 o'clock, right around dark, and I see it a lot. I mean, somebody's going to get hurt. One other thing I have got is, as I'm coming through downtown a lot now, I noticed that there's people doing back-in angle parking. I don't know if that's legal or not, but it's happening quite a bit, I think. And I had a question regarding the EV charging stations in downtown. I didn't know, are those, I don't have an EV, so I don't know, I'm asking. Are those free to use, or are they being charged through a credit card? One other thing I'd like to ask about, we recently, when in the process of constructing Arrowhead Park, we took down all the trees along the lakefront. It gives us a better view, and I understand all of that. If anybody has a lake home and they've ever sat out on the dock at midnight or 1 o'clock, you can hear your neighbor from 6 or 7 miles away across the lake talk. Well, for those of us who live in the area across from Arrowhead Park, when those trains come in and they sound their horns, it just about rattles the windows now in our homes because there are no trees left there. We cut them down along the lake shore. I'm wondering if maybe we can get the forestry department to maybe put some trees up along the railroad tracks, so I understand that we don't ruin the view per se. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak during the public forum? The next item on the agenda is Mayor Council consideration of public forum issues. Mr. Kerr, have you spoken with your county representatives on the issue? I appreciate you coming to share your concerns on the UTVs with us tonight. Really appreciate that. Have you talked to them directly? I'd be happy to convey your concerns. Okay, I'd be happy to convey your concerns, but I will also send you the contact information for them. Jerry, do you have an answer relative to the electric charging station on Wisconsin Ave?
Those are credit card use.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone on council who would like to address? Alderman Palno.
Thank you, Mayor. It's just my understanding in regard to that ATV or UTV situation, it was the city of Oshkosh that was considering an ordinance change. It wasn't Winnebago County. That was my understanding.
I believe it's all of Winnebago County, actually.
Is it now?
Yes.
Okay, I know
Yes.
they had spearheaded that in Oshkosh.
Yeah, county roadways within Winnebago
Okay.
County.
Okay.
Mayor, if I may.
Alderman Ellis.
Thank you. And regarding the ATVs and the electric scooters and all those good things, Mr. Kerr, I can tell you that I've spoken with a few of our council members, especially from our first district here, and we've talked to Chief Olson, and the Neenah police have as well as we have that same concern. It's almost like you now have this technology that got ahead of us. And it isn't regulated, and by God, does it need to be. And it was just, I think, about 2 weeks ago that Chief Olson shared with us that he had police chiefs from other communities, including far south, I believe to Milwaukee, up here, and they're discussing how to create a type of ordinance that wouldn't be just for Neenah, but it would be one that everybody could be in lockstep with, so it's easier to legislate amongst the communities, and we are all in support of that, because I too have seen it. I've seen the electric scooters go from being on Wisconsin Avenue to on Wisconsin Avenue sidewalk. I have seen 8-year-olds on those little motorized scooters in the middle of the street. I live on Clybourne and Abbey, so on the noise element, I understand what you're saying, and I've grown up in that house, and I've listened to the trains every night, but I understand exactly what you're saying. So at least on that first element, the Neenah Police Department, working along with the folks here at City Hall, we are working on that, because we need to make sure that everybody's going to be safe but enjoy the units. Thank you, Mayor.
Yep. Alderman Erickson?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to agree with Alderman Ellis on that. The electric scooters are a major safety concern in my district as well. I saw just last week a young, probably, my guess would be 12-year-old going down Bell Street without stopping at any one of the intersections, just sailing down. And my husband and I were just amazed that they didn't get hit by a car. They were not looking for any cars that were coming in from incoming traffic, and it's a miracle that they did not get hit. And I would be interested to find out how many accidents have happened with those. And it happens not only on Bell Street, but it happens in my neighborhood. Nobody is stopping at intersections. They are just sailing right through them, and it's just an accident waiting to happen.
Any other comments from council?
I don't know if there's anyone that could comment in regards to the trees, if there's any obstacles to the trees going from a noise perspective, if there's,
Well, I'm thinking,
yeah.
they cut the trees along the lake shore,
Okay.
but that left, it exposed the entire railroad crossing. There's nothing there anymore. They could put something along near to the railroad tracks. These trees would eventually grow up. I understand it's not gonna happen tomorrow.
Right.
Right.
But
As far as jurisdiction about
Yeah.
how close we can approach those railroad tracks, that's
Right.
something that we'd have to work on, but I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. So it sounds, we'll look into that item. Thank you.
Any other comments from council? Moving on then to item 7, there's no consent agenda. The regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting of October 7th was canceled, so there's no report. Before we move on to the regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of October 6th, I would just like to say that after discussion today with our HR Director, Amy Fairchild, I would like to propose that we remove option 3 from the insurance plan as was presented at the finance meeting, and that would result in removing the spousal surcharge for spouses who have alternative health coverage. The negative impact of this component on our employees is, in my opinion, it's something that outweighs any of the potential benefits to the city. So I am recommending that when that item is presented in Alderman Steiner's report, that he could modify that. You also have before you an email from Director Fairchild outlining the fact that there was an additional change based on a numerical change that was made to reduce the employee contribution rate from 12% to 10%, but then that modifies the city's percentage increase from 7.01% to 9.44%. So that is before you as an email, and I would like to call on Director Fairchild to come forward to give an overview of those two recommended changes.
Can I just give you a total summary of the benefits package as a whole so that it's
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
one big, okay, great. So we have the medical renewals, which did result in an overall 9.44% increase with that 10% contribution rate by the employee. The reason for the increase is related to the stop loss. Stop loss, as we first had it covered, was for a 12-month period. We did not have to cover the prior 12 months because Robin was still responsible for those premiums going into 2025 from the prior year. Now that Robin is no longer on that, we have to cover the 2025 claims into 2026. That results in a 19.9% increase in our stop loss, which is applied to the overall premium for the employee contributions. That in connection with us also creating a 4-tier proposal resulted in that 9.44% increase that you see before you today. The actual medical portion resulted in a flat rate, so there was no increase because of the medical changes that we did prior year. Knowing that, we are proposing that we also reduce the maximum out-of-pocket from $7,000, $14,000 to $6,000, $12,000. So that is also a positive for the employees to see that their maximum out-of-pocket would then also reduce. So that's the total package for the health piece. But we are also adding a companion piece called the Family Savings Plan. It's an alternative to the opt-out program for those individuals who do have spousal coverage through their, or who can obtain coverage through their spouse. It would give them a premium incentive up to $100 for each individual that leaves the plan. So if you have 2 people leave the plan, you can get $100 of premium paid to you on top of your out-of-pocket costs covered. That did, when it was originally proposed, we were told that a spousal surcharge usually accompanies that as an additional incentive for them to go off onto another plan. I agree with Mayor Lang that a surcharge is not necessarily the most positive thing. When it was first proposed, I was given a much higher number than $100. I did talk down to the $100, but I agree that a zero incentive would be best. It was not calculated into the overall figures when determining what that cost savings would result in, so it's no financial impact to remove that. So any questions on that piece? Okay.
Okay.
Other than that, we are offering a secondary dental option to our current Delta plan. It is a more narrow network. It's more of an HMO, but it is an alternative to Delta. We have heard some concerns that people are not happy with just having Delta because some of the providers have opted out of the network. So we are offering an alternative. Employees would have to look to see whether or not Care Plus is something that would benefit them when making their selection. It does offer a broader benefit, but it is a less expensive dental plan for them to have, given that it has a narrower network. Other than that, there are no changes to the vision, the HRA, the EAP benefits. All of those all remain the same.
Okay. Thank you for that overview. So I'll call on Chairman Steiner to do his regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting report.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a report out from the October 6th meeting. Minutes can be found on the city website. Committee recommends council approve a 9.44%, and this is alluding to the update from the email that Director Fairchild just referenced. An overall health insurance increase with a decrease in the maximum out of pocket as presented by M3, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Alderman Ellis. I'm wanting to know if that is the point at which we also remove that surcharge
I was taking that as item 2.
Okay.
Just because,
Are you-
is that accurate? Because that's the family savings plan.
None?
Correct.
Okay, so, okay.
I'll do it on the next.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Alderman Ellis. Alderman Paulno.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a process question. Since this was publicly noticed at 7.01%, do we need to read that out first as amendment and then modify it as, modify that motion
We
legally?
could do it that way.
I just, yeah,
We could do it that way
So
and make it
be a
an
move to
amendment.
amend?
That's what I was
yes.
recommending we do.
Okay, I'll reset.
No problem.
So I'd like to move to amend item number 1 to go from 7.01% to 9.44%, in line with the update that was provided by Director Fairchild. And I so move.
Second.
Okay, it's motion and second to amend the item within the agenda. Any discussion on that?
And
Alderman Paulno?
just process question, wasn't the original motion at 9.44%? That's what he read out, that was seconded? So what are we doing here? Because, I mean, you know what I mean? Because I know what we're trying to accomplish here, and I agree,
Yes.
but process-wise, we're a little backwards, I think.
Well, yeah,
Just give the clerk a minute to
Yeah, if that-
adjust.
I think the ideal intent was to have the motion of the amendment first,
Yes.
and then it's amended, right? And then we vote on the updated amended.
It happened a little
Yeah.
quickly before, I probably should have clarified again that it should be an amended motion.
Right.
Okay, so,
So this is a motion to
the
amend.
original motion, you can do the original motion again
Okay.
and say 7.01% and then amend that.
All in one shebang?
Sure.
All right.
No, it's two separate.
No, we're going to have to take 2 votes.
Okay.
So the vote on the floor right now is the motion to amend to 9.44.
Okay.
So we can take a vote on that. And then it's going to revert back to the original motion of 7.01.
And you'll have to restate that motion as
Okay.
7.01.
So we're first voting to amend.
Right.
Correct. And then we'll have to take a vote on that.
just if I, point of clarification, because the original motion that he laid on the table was 9.44%. So this amended motion is to amend it to 9.44? I mean,
We should have done it for the 7.4.
He should have done it for 7.01.
Right.
He can withdraw his motion and we can start over.
that's
I would like
clean.
to withdraw my motion.
Okay,
The
All
first
right.
amendment has to be with the amendment. Both.
the original motion, the amended motion does not need to be withdrawn, but
Yeah. So I'm withdrawing my original motion of the 9.44%. And now we're looking at the motion to amend from 7.01% to 9.44%.
yes.
Okay.
And motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Alderman Ellis. Is that suitable with everyone at this point?
Just because up on the screen it says approve a 9.44, are we pulling that and then starting?
That is, if you look at the screen at the top left,
Motion
it's
to
the motion
amend.
to amend. The motion is to amend to 9.44.
Then we'll go back to the,
Once you vote on this, the
Then we'll go
system will
back.
automatically go back to the original motion of 7.01.
The original motion was 9.44.
we took that motion off
That
the
was-
Okay,
floor.
that's off the
I just
table,
went
okay.
through it. Yep.
Just trying to follow along, okay, cool.
Yep.
Handled in finance.
Any other discussion? Alderman Erickson?
I just have a comment. I think that I'm very upset that this is happening at such a late time at our meeting. It should have been handled at finance. This is not something that we have had time to consider, to talk about, to do research on. I think we need to get better information sooner than we have been getting it. And I don't think that this has been handled well. So that's my comment.
Is there any other discussion? Alderman Paulno?
One thing, because I would agree with Alderman Erickson, in defense of staff, a lot of these numbers, because the stop loss was not known because of the way this health plan is going this year, so these information numbers weren't even available to staff to crunch till late Friday. And I guess our only other alternative would have been to schedule either a special council meeting at a later date, which we could have done, but it wasn't a normal course of events. But I agree that we want to get information as much as possible. I weigh it against the information that was had when it was had as well.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, this is on the motion to amend the motion of 7.01% to approve a 9.44% increase. Please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
All right, item number 2.
Now you need to go back to the original.
Right, because now it is 9.44 because we amended it.
Yes,
Right, okay.
that's correct.
Committee recommends council approve a 9.44% increase in overall health insurance increase with a decrease in the maximum out-of-pocket as presented by M3, and I so move.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to recommend approval of a 9.44% increase in the city's overall health insurance increase. Alderman Paulno.
I was just going to say, it was still saying 7.01, but it just changed to 9.44. So.
Yep.
Excellent.
Any other discussion? Please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
Item number 2. So I would like to move to amend
Thank you.
the recommendation to approve the participating in the family savings plan, but with the removal of option number 3, as recommended in the email that Director Fairchild just reviewed with us. And I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Council President Borchert. Discussion on this item. Alderman Paulno.
So this is just a regular motion without option 3?
No, this
Okay.
was an amendment to what was in the agenda.
That came out of
We're
committee?
going back to, yeah.
I guess just, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, wouldn't the normal process be lay on the table what came out of committee and then amend that? I mean, isn't it the normal process is you make an amendment and,
Isn't that what I did?
That's what he,
okay.
So, because I read what it was, and then I said with the amendment of removing option number 3.
But that's a motion. There's two different actions. I mean, you
it's a motion to amend.
Motion to amend.
but you don't have a motion on the table. You're not amending anything because the regular. So you're doing two actions in once, which isn't really allowed. It's usually you lay the motion on the table and then somebody makes a motion to amend that. And we haven't done the first step. We're trying to do two, and I understand the purpose of it, but what came out of the committee usually would be what's on the table, and then somebody would make a motion to amend that.
Right, right.
That's proper
Right.
Robert's rules.
I don't agree. It's not on the table until somebody makes a motion, and a motion was made by Alderman Steiner, which was appropriate because he's asking that the recommendation from the committee be amended in that manner before it's even voted on. So then you vote on that amendment. If it passes, it's amended, and then you proceed with the vote. There's not a laying on the table.
Well, to amend anything, you have to have something on the table, and right now, you're laying it on the table as an amendment. You can say a modified motion, I guess
I mean, is my approach disallowed?
So I think the cleaner way would be to read out what is on the agenda.
Okay.
Get a motion and a second, and then make an amendment to that motion to amend to take out option 3.
that's exactly I agree with that.
Okay. So would I rescind my original motion that I just made? Yes. I rescind the motion that I just made.
And you rescind the second.
I do, it works both ways.
Right.
I just want to make sure it's,
It could be either way.
it can be either way, because you have the right to make a motion to adjust, to amend our agenda. It's not what we normally do.
Nope.
But it could be done either way, but I agree, we'll go ahead, so I rescind.
Would you like?
I just want to count, I guess I disagree with the council president. It's not the same. Because per Robert's rules, you have to have a motion on the table, and then you amend that motion. That's basic Robert's rules. And rescinding what Dan had done, now we do what's coming out of the committee, as Clerk Nagel said. You have that on the table, or then you amend it. You have to have something on the table to amend. So that's basic Robert's rules.
All right. Committee recommends council approve participating in the Family Savings Plan, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Alderman Ellis. Discussion on this item.
Now, I move to amend the recommendation to exclude option 3, as documented in the email that Director Fairchild just discussed and reviewed with us, and I so move.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to amend the motion on the table for consideration. That is to remove option 3. Any discussion on that item? Alderman Linsky.
Yes, I'm just a little confused on where is option 3? I don't see.
In the email, the
There's a-
Family Savings Plan update, the email from Director Fairchild, option 3, which would result in removing the spousal surcharge for spouses who have alternative health coverage.
It's attached as a backup in your packet
And when was that
originally.
sent out?
I sent it late this afternoon, and it was
That's
printed.
ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Alderman Paulno?
Thank you. Correct me if I'm wrong, Director Fairchild. The council agenda that went on Friday included the information that had option 3. It's
Yes.
Okay, so we did have it on Friday, the option 3 information. And it was, and I've always, we didn't used to do it that way, where we included information a lot of times with the agenda, because people on the council would they would use the first 2 or 3 pages, but then sometimes they didn't dig into that other information, where I always preferred to have that via email, but apparently we don't do that anymore. But just a reminder, a lot of information that's pertinent will be attached with the council agenda.
The 3 options are on your screen right now. Those were the options that were included in the packet.
Yes,
that was
that's correct.
Posted
Sent
on Friday.
Any further discussion on the amendment to remove option 3? Which does not have any financial consequence, but in my opinion, has great benefit to our employees and employee morale. Seeing no further discussion, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
Okay, so now I move that the committee recommend council approve participating in the Family Savings Plan with the removed
As amended.
option 3 as
Yep.
amended.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Alderman Ellis, to approve participating in the Family Savings Plan as amended. Please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
Item number 3, committee recommends council approve offering alternate Delta 85% ER paid with alternative number 1, Care Plus Dental Plan, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Council President Borchard. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
Item number 4, committee recommends council approve the restructuring of 2 casual positions into 1 permanent part-time parks technician position as presented, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Council President Borchert. Any discussion on this item? Alderman Paulno.
Thank you, Mayor. Director Fairchild, one question. If I remember correctly, there was 4 of these positions originally, and there's 2 of these combining into 1 part-time.
Correct.
What is the plan with those other 2 positions, considering, as I've heard at committee, that it's been hard to fill those, are those planned to go away, to get revised, or what?
So we will still leave the 2 permanent long-term casual positions in conjunction with this one combined, with combining 2 into 1 permanent part-time, and Superintendent Trevor Fink will continue to advocate to post those as appropriate. We will post the internal part-time position and allow both of the ones that are there the opportunity to apply and try for the more hours. We feel like one of them will likely promote into the permanent part-time position. If not, we'll post it external and start from there. And I think that Mr. Fink will probably post later in the season for trying to refill those the other long-term casual position that's vacated as a result.
Are there other ways to market those maybe that would be more beneficial, or just things we could try?
I'm not really sure. I would have to get with him to see how he's done this other than posting it within our online job board. We mark it out to the schools and say, hey, it's summertime. We do word of mouth. We're in competition with everybody else around us too. So
Is there anything with the job description or the pay that's the hindrance or is it hard to say?
it pays just a couple dollars less than our full-times. So, I mean, it's almost a full-time wage.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
Item number 5, committee recommends council approve resolution 2025-11 to enter into an institutional investment agency agreement between City of Neenah Cemetery and Associated Trust Company, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Paulno. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. Plan Commission meeting of October 7th was canceled. So moving on to the Board of Public Works meeting of October 9th. Vice Chairman Lundrum.
Thank you, Mayor. And as you said, I'll be reporting out from the Board of Public Works meeting of October 9th, 2025, and those minutes can be found on the city website. We have 2 items tonight. The board recommends council approve pay request number 2 and final pay request from Vinton Construction, 2 Rivers on contract PR 24-012 Southview Park Court replacement in the amount of $129,221.53 utilizing approved budgeted 2025 CIP funds, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lundrum, seconded by Alderman Bruno. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
And the second and the last item, the board recommends council approve final pay request contract 7-24, concrete pavement and sidewalk repairs and new sidewalk Baldwin Street to Jim Fisher Incorporated in the amount of 0 because it's already been paid, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lundrum, seconded by Alderman Bruno. Any discussion on this item? Alderman Paulno, are you going to ask if this is standard? You asked the last time we did this, too.
Yeah, I just, for clarification, because it's been a while since we did this, and I can't remember why.
We did it in the last council
weeks
meeting as
ago.
well. We had a similar item.
Okay, and that was because it's a contractual
It's
obligation?
required.
Okay, that's what I thought, yeah.
Any other discussion on this item? Please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
And that's the end of my report.
Thank you for your report. Moving on to the library board meeting, Alderman Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. The Neenah Public Library Board of Trustees met today at 4 o'clock. Two items I'd like to highlight from our meeting. We had an update from Blue Door Consulting, which is working on a branding plan for the Neenah Public Library. And then we also found out that to date, the programming is up 18% versus last year at this time. And that concludes my report, other than just always remember to check out some books. Thank you.
Thank you for your report.
Mayor, just real quick, Alderman Erickson. Sorry, I know. Sorry about that. Been a long day. How is, and I meant to ask you this just as an aside conversation, but I'm kind of curious. I know the library has moved to no fines or no fees for late books.
Right. Correct.
How have they seen a decrease or an increase, or are you aware of? I was just curious. It's been on my mind for quite a while. How has that impacted the books being returned, or anything negatively or positively?
What I'd like to do is give you a report on that next time. Is that okay? I'll give you.
Absolutely. I apologize. It just came to my mind, and I had the.
I think it's been a positive for the Neenah Library. I think a lot of people were afraid to check out books if they had an overdue. So I think it's worked out very well, but I will give you the numbers on that next time. Thank you.
Alderman Erickson, I'll call on you for the Neenah Arts Council meeting.
Thank you. The Neenah Arts Council met last Wednesday at Root and Runner Creative Space, and we discussed the many activities that we have done already this year, and we are planning to participate in the Very Neenah Christmas and the Holiday Market, which will be coming up right away in December. So we had a tour of the creative space, and it was a very positive meeting, and that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. Alderman Weber is not here to give the Landmarks Commission report. I have to say I got a little sneak preview of the new brochure for the Landmarks Commission, and it is looking fantastic, so really proud of their efforts on that. You could pass that all the way around. Are there any petitions? Are there any council directives? Is there any unfinished business? Is there any new business? Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So move.
Second?
There's a motion and a second for us to go into closed session. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please cast your vote on your voting device. Sorry about that. That is approved 8-0. We are going to just take a 1-minute break to get things set up in here for the closed session.
The City of Neenah is pleased to provide video recordings of City Council meetings. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents from the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or completing the electronic feedback form on the city website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety. and are not edited.